What is up, Spurs Nation? Great game. Great game versus the Pelicans, baby. Zion's debut. Who stepped up? Derek White. I love Derek White. He stepped up there late in the fourth quarter, hitting big shots, big defensive plays. Looked like Derek White of old, of last postseason. Jakob was just a monster. He plays huge. And LaMarcus Aldridge had a great game. Quietly, DeMar DeRozan had a great game too. Zion did do something that was pretty special, pretty impressive. I mean, for him to be able to do things like that just shows how great of a player that Zion is going to be in the moment. Like when big moments come, he's going to be able to answer the call and step up to the occasion. Because I mean, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that little, I can't say little, it was what, 16-point stretch where he just hit every bucket. And we'll talk about why. We'll talk about the zone and stuff in a little while. But first, let me see what's up with you guys. Those of you guys that are in the chat, what's up? What's going on? Appreciate you guys being here. Surviving Zion, that's right. That fourth quarter stretch was pretty wild, absolutely. I mean, come on. Zion's not going to shoot 4 for 4 every game. But it was a special moment. You know what? And what enabled him to do so was that we went into a zone and we didn't play him to shoot. What we wanted to do actually was exactly what happened. You know, we got into this zone so we can force them to shoot outside shots. I mean, they were shooting terribly all night long. They did hit a few here and there. But, I mean, they started off, 0 for 12 or 0 for 9 or something like that until they hit their first bucket. So the Pelicans weren't shooting the ball well. So mid-fourth quarter, we go zone. We go this little 3-2 zone, and we sag off of Zion on purpose. I think that's what we want. I think if you ask the coaching staff, you know, what do you guys want to do coming out of this timeout? Well, let's go zone. You know, we're not going to let them beat us. You know, we're not going to let one guy beat us. And that's exactly what happened. You know, I think it was supposed to work. You know, that zone, the idea behind it was supposed to be a good idea. It was supposed to work. It's like, yeah, let's keep Zion out of the paint and let's make him shoot threes, and let's make this team that's been shooting terrible all night hit some threes. And Zion's just like, you know what, I'll do some stuff. I'm sure he looked at Coach Gentry and was like, hey, this is your last. I mean, how crazy was this game, right? We had he when he started going on that little run, they brought one sub in for him, sat him back down, right? Coach Gentry, another 2 minutes later, you know, brings another sub, Derek Favors, sits him back down, right? So, you know, there was a lot of hype in the moment. You can tell that Gentry hated every moment of that, because I think he played him maybe like 3 minutes extra that he didn't want to play him, and he was just shaking his head the whole time. And then everyone in the crowd was chanting, we want Zion, and Coach Gentry was just like, nah, I've had enough of this. You know, they're gonna have Zion for a long time. I don't think we need to worry about that. It was smart for the coach to sit him down. In his first game back, you can tell that he was going through all of his jitters, just being back into the game and being on the hardwood floor. And I mean, hey, you know, the ESPN really wanted to make us believe this game was important. Really make the audience feel like this game was important. Let's talk about that for a little bit. Because throughout this whole game, all I heard coming out of on the ESPN broadcast, not really in the Fox Sports Southwest broadcast where I was flipping back and forth, ESPN really wanted to make everyone believe that this game mattered. You know, bring all the attention, all the viewers, because there's stakes involved. There's playoff, seeding involved. Positioning. Come on, man. This game did not matter just as much as any other game has not mattered until this point. We are not even halfway into the season. We're almost there. But this was just another game. You know, the only reason why it mattered, I mean, like, it's like, oh, they're fighting for for playoff positioning right now with Memphis, and Portland is tied right behind them, and it's not even midway through the season. We have 40 games left. We have 40 games left. We're not fighting for playoff. We're just trying to get better right now. There's no stakes involved. We lost one to Atlanta at home the other day. That one hurt. There were stakes involved in that one. I think everyone who is invested into this season walked away from that game a little bit heartbroken. That game hurt. This game really didn't matter too much. I mean, we needed to get the win. That's all that mattered, because the Pelicans are one of the worst teams. Yes, we knew Zion was going to be a big deal, and it brought the media to the game, and it brought a lot of jitters to both squads, I think, starting the game. I think they only had 24 points or something like that in the first quarter, and Zion goes off for 16 by himself in the fourth in about 3 minutes, right? So you could just see how they started slow. And we did our job. Brandon Ingram looked good too. I want to give a shout out to Brandon Ingram. He looked good. A lot of those guys were in the trade talks when Kawhi was going down, and I see them playing over here. That package, that group of players. I like New Orleans. They're gonna be a good team. Zion's gonna own Louisiana for a long time. Drew Brees is gonna eventually walk away, and the one that's gonna be the man over there in Louisiana is gonna be Zion for a very, very long time. Let me check back in with you guys on the chat, see what's going down over here. Bleacher Report has the biggest hard-on for Zion I've ever seen. Hey, man. Well, I think everybody does. Everybody wants him to be the next LeBron. Everybody wants Zion to be the next LeBron. Why? Because LeBron is a twilight of his career, if you can call it. He's still probably third in my vote for MVP this season. And, if you want to say he's in the twilight, but eventually he's going to be gone. And who does the media want to take the torch in that case? And it's going to be Zion. And they want Zion to do the whole thing, man. Play in New Orleans for a while and then go to a big market. That's what everyone wants. What's up, Gio? Gio's a diehard. Appreciate you. A lot of diehards in here. Wait, I saw something. Mr. Music 21 was like, if they closed in on Zion at the 3-point, he wouldn't be 4 for 4. Absolutely, man. We did not put any type of pressure. We're in a zone. It's not that we weren't closing out, Mr. Music. It was the fact that we wanted them to shoot threes, so him shooting threes was not something that we wanted to take away. We don't want to close out on Zion and give Zion a wide open lane to the basket to go score 2 points, where his higher percentage should be. Wasn't tonight. He was 100% from the 3-pointer tonight, obviously, which is a freak of nature type of thing to do. Just big stage, big moment. Was able to kind of get his swag off a little bit. He's gonna be great. He just needs to stay healthy. But if we closed out to those shooters, then they would have had lanes to the basket. That's not what we want. And they killed us on the offensive glass. That zone gives up a lot of offensive rebounds. Eddie Garcia, Zion will get hurt if he doesn't drop at least 15 pounds. No, guys, we're listen, I think we're actually in a weird situation. I don't want to kind of get into free agency and what that might look like for us and the position we're in right now with LaMarcus and DeMar DeRozan. That's another video for another time, with their contract situation and where that puts us with our two scenarios, if they stay and if they leave type stuff. But we're not playing to lose. And that's what makes the losses that we do take right now hurt, man. When we take that loss to Atlanta, we know we're trying to beat Atlanta. We're not trying to get no draft pick. We're not trying to get our better seeding. No, we're trying to fight for a playoff spot, as so we should with the team that we have. Look, man, if we're playing our best basketball in March and April, and we go on a little run. We sneak into the 8th spot, 7th spot. No one wants to play us. Nobody's going to want to play us in the playoffs, but we have to get there first. And, we still have to see if we're going to get there in one piece, meaning, like, is DeMar DeRozan going to stay on the squad? Is LaMarcus Aldridge going to stay on the squad? Are they going to verbally opt out? If they verbally opt out, then I don't know. I don't know what we do. But let's go ahead and let's look at some stats. Let's look at some stats of this game. We got. Okay, so let's see some stats in this game. DeMar DeRozan, 20 points. LaMarcus Aldridge, 32 points. Those guys did their jobs, man. LaMarcus Aldridge shot over 50% from the field tonight. He carried us. You know that there was a point in that in that fourth quarter. It was definitely in the second half where he just went at Hayes, right? And it was kind of cool to see those two guys play each other. Those are two UT guys. You had, is it Austin Hayes? I think it's Austin Hayes. And LaMarcus Aldridge, two former UT Longhorn forward/centers. So shout out to them. And that was kind of neat seeing those two guys go at each other. And LaMarcus went at him on purpose. I think it was in the fourth quarter. I don't know what it was, but he just lowered his head and took Austin Hayes to the rim. So he played huge, man. He hit a couple threes early. He ended up with 14 rebounds, so 32 points, 14 rebounds. Great night for LaMarcus Aldridge. DeMar DeRozan, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. Look, I've said it a lot, and I don't want to take away from DeMar's game, but when he has low turnovers, which means that he probably has low assists, right? I mean, because he's a great passer. He can average 6 assists a game. But I think when he's looking to score and maybe only has 1 or 2 assists a game, it limits his turnover opportunities. So he's a better kind of scorer/slasher all around. Now let's keep going down the line here. DeJounte Murray finished with 13. Derek White finished with 12. I mean, those two guys were on the floor together in those last 3 or 4 minutes of the game because defense mattered. I mean, these guys came out and started. I mean, after Zion's run, we went man again. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but we went zone to try to make him shoot more threes. Zion wasn't supposed to go 4 for 4, but he did. And you know what? You live with that. If we're the Spurs, we live with that little run. It wouldn't have continued for the rest of the 3 or 4 minutes that were left in that game. I guarantee you he would have missed a few shots. Well, maybe I should take that guarantee back after what I just saw tonight. But Derek White came up huge down the stretch. DeJounte Murray's defense was huge down the stretch. Those two guys communicate very well for spending limited minutes together on the floor. Let's see, how did my boy Patty didn't shoot the ball well tonight. You know, he finished with 8 points. As a team, let's see how we did. Let's see what the turnover battle was. We had 11 turnovers. The Pelicans had 14. That's good. Where's my fast break points at? Fast break points. Oh, it's not here. It's not on this stat sheet that I'm looking at right now. We shot 40% from the 3. They shot 38%. Actually, it's not too bad after all. I mean, after starting 0 for 12, they hit a bunch. Obviously, Zion hit 4 of them. 4 out of the 14 that they had. Man, we're pretty matched up. 46 points each for points in the paint. So we're both getting it done there. And it was a tough game. It was a tough game. We shot 50% from the field. The Pelicans shot 46% from the field from there. What's up? Let's check up on you guys on the chat and see what's going on. Forgotten things. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, do your thing, brother. Only one person's gonna make it happen. That's you. Let's Consistency is key. It's a grind. All right, so what we're gonna do, guys, Twitter's lighting up right now, and we're gonna go ahead and get all into what's going on Twitter, and see what they're saying about the Spurs and Zion. But first, we're gonna take a quick little break so I can stretch my legs real quick, get something to drink. You guys go ahead and do the same. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. All right, we're back, Spurs Nation. We're back. We back. Chance the Rapper, baby. All right, so let's go through Spurs Twitter. Let's go see what's going on. All right, now everyone's talking about Zion and what a great stat line. He had 22 points, 4 for 4, 3 points made. Oh my God. His game wasn't all that great. I mean, it was very slow. He had a great 3-minute stretch. Okay, Zion. Everything I'm seeing is about Zion. I don't want to see Zion. Okay, here we go. Zion videos. Come on, man. Sorry, guys. I'm seeing just a lot of videos right now on these dudes. I don't want videos. Is there a way to filter this stuff? A lot of highlight stuff. Aldridge. See what people are saying about LaMarcus Aldridge. Oh man, dude, every time LaMarcus Aldridge was on the free throw line and you heard that guy just making that crazy sound, oh my God, that screaming sound, he actually made LaMarcus Aldridge miss a free throw, I think, man. Hey, so that guy got it done, I guess. LaMarcus Aldridge, 32 points, 14 rebounds. You know, he was a monster. Let's see. The Pelicans have no answer for LaMarcus Aldridge. Yeah, so everyone's talking about Zion. They just lost. Spurs are actually on a 3-game win streak, which is fantastic for us, man. I mean, we need momentum. We need momentum right now. We can call LaMarcus Aldridge boring all we want. He's going to the Hall of Fame. Hamed, please be my GF. He's a low-key Hall of Famer. Yeah, I mean, he might be. Everybody's loving that guy that was just screaming at LaMarcus Aldridge. LaMarcus Aldridge has now hit a 3-pointer in 15 straight games. DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge combined for 50-plus points with one made 3 ball between them. Those two guys are not falling in love with the mid-range game anymore. Those guys are stretching the game. I mean, LaMarcus is doing his job of stretching the game and making everyone's job, making LaMarcus Aldridge's job a lot easier. See what this guy says. Sam Vecini. What does he do? He writes for The Athletic. I love LaMarcus Aldridge so much. Honestly, might be one of my favorite players in the league to watch. There's just so much skill there. I mean, he's right. Man, when LaMarcus went wet with his jumper from mid-range, that was something. That was something for a little while. He just went to work. Man, LaMarcus went to work in the second half. Took over. The footwork, even the aesthetics of his shot, can't stop him even if he gets slower. No, LaMarcus Aldridge is like Dirk. As long as he's going to be able to get his shot off, it's wet. I mean, he is basically Dirk Nowitzki 2.0. Dirk Nowitzki 2.0. Oh man, that screen on Brandon Ingram, whoo, from LaMarcus Aldridge. Dang. Oh man, Lonnie Walker, man. Let's talk about Lonnie. Lonnie played great tonight. In his limited minutes that he did play, Lonnie ended up finishing with 13 minutes, 6 points, 1 rebound. Gave us a spark when he got in the game. He did his job. He did what he was supposed to do, which is come into the game and when he does come in, give us a lift, give us a boost, give us something that's gonna spark the rest of the bench when while you're out there, or the starting lineup. Now, what was interesting actually in this game was that we actually got to see there was about 2 or 3 minutes there in the third quarter where Trey Lyles didn't really have that great of a game. Trey Lyles had 5 points in about 16 minutes of play. Didn't get a lot of play because he was kind of blowing a lot of assignments on the defensive end as I watched this game, and I kind of stop, pause, and go back and look at plays and see why we got scored on here and there. I'm telling you, a lot of our issues come in communication. A lot of us think that it's DeMar DeRozan, but it's not. I mean, as I looked at this game tonight, DeMar DeRozan was doing a great job of being in help and rotating over when we went to go send a double team. He was always on the rotation, but whoever helps the helper, meaning whoever's going to take DeMar DeRozan's old guy, was late, and a lot of times that was either Trey Lyles or that was Bryn Forbes, right? So those guys had somewhat under par nights. Bryn Forbes finished with 11 points, hit a couple shots, man, but he's right now, Bryn Forbes and Trey Lyles, to me, it's so interesting. And I was kind of talking about this with my girlfriend as we were watching this game. I don't understand why Pop and the staff love this lineup so much where they'll start it. I mean, I think it's a good lineup. Our starting lineup is a good one, the one that we should play a lot. It's the one that should get the most minutes. I don't think so. And there was a time in the second half where we had Lonnie Walker in for Trey Lyles, right? So we had DeJounte, Bryn, Lonnie Walker. Who am I missing here? DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge, right? So I really wanted that one to do well. At the end of the day, it was just okay. And the Spurs, they know what's up, dude, because that's a lineup that I think would actually do well, but I don't think Bryn. I think Bryn in there, and while that lineup was out there, Bryn was the one that stood out, that made the errors or just didn't flow when Bryn was out there. So I think Patty ended up coming in for Bryn a few minutes later after that. When Bryn's not hitting shots, man, I mean, it's hard for me. I think it would be hard to keep him in the game, but there's these little flashes that he shows where it's like, oh man, he shows us like the hustle and the passion and all that great stuff that we need on the floor too. So sometimes you gotta live with Bryn Forbes off nights, But his effort's always there, man. His competitive nature is always going to be there. But so Lonnie Walker was in for Trey Lyles, and that lineup just did kind of okay. Lonnie Walker was kind of a non-factor. It's kind of hard to get shots for yourself when LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan are still in the game. Even if you're Lonnie Walker, it's hard to get your shots because everything is run for those two guys. And I think Bryn, DeJounte, and Trey Lyles are all three guys that don't need the ball, that don't need to, don't need to have 2 or 3 or 4 plays called for them in a row to get going. They're just going to be the guys that are going to, if they start taking away DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge, these guys got to start attacking and being aggressive, and they do a good job of that. But it's just when they're hitting, when Trey Lyles is being active on the glass, and that's when that lineup actually really works. But for the most part, I don't see it being one of our best lineups. But I also see that a lot of what Spurs Nation wants is not really working either. And there's a few times where I see the Derek White and DeJounte Murray combination not work out so well. It's been limited minutes, but I've seen it where they close out games. Don't get me wrong, I've seen it where those two guys are on the floor because we've been in so many close games, and they're the ones that close it out defensively on that last possession. So defensively, yeah, they're there, but playing those guys for like long periods of stretches together, since that I've seen this season, doesn't work all that well. Even though we want it, it just offensively they do struggle. Defensively they are better, but offensively they do struggle. Even though Derek White is shooting a few more threes and he's being more aggressive offensively, there's still a balance there that needs to get figured out. Other than that, we want Lonnie to start, right? But Lonnie can't start. I mean, Lonnie needs to be out there with the bench, and the bench needs to look for Lonnie. Rudy Gay does it. Jakob did a great job of finding him for that backdoor, like alley-oop layup, reverse layup. Tricky. Nice move. Smooth. Good finish by Lonnie. Smart. He caught it in the air, didn't come down with it. Reverse layup, scoop layup. I mean, with style. Lonnie just does it all with style, right? And we love it. We love to see it. So that's why we want more of it, but it can't come in the starting unit. It can't come in the starting lineup because LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan are going to take all those shots. They're going to take all those shots. And Lonnie needs to be out there with a lineup that can provide him with more transition opportunity and more just opportunities to not feel like, I should be passing it to these guys instead of scoring, so I think it'll come with time with Lonnie. But for now, LaMarcus and DeMar DeRozan are 2 guys, and they need to take most of the shots, and they're playing heavy minutes, those 2 guys, so we're riding on those 2 guys. That's why it's like we got to give these guys all the credit in the world, because they're competing their asses off. They're playing tough. They're putting in the effort every single night, and I don't think that's ever been the question so far with our season so far. How everyone's talking about, we're struggling, we're not winning games, and they're absolutely right. We've been inconsistent on the defensive end. That's what Pop has said a few times here and there, but we've also shown that we can compete with the best, and we've also shown that we can lose with the best, and we've also shown that it doesn't matter where we play, home or on the road. It's shaking a magic 8 ball to see what type of Spurs team you're going to get on any given night. But when you get those good Spurs nights, they're good, just like tonight. You know what I'm saying? So we're on a 3-game winning streak, and that's huge. This game was huge. We spoiled Zion's little comeback party, but it wasn't really a comeback party, and I hope Zion does well. I really like the kid. I don't think he's going to be a phenom, even though he did have a great moment tonight, special moment tonight. Probably one of his historic moments for his whole career, even. His first game in the NBA, his first real game in the NBA, not Summer League, not preseason, and he kind of, has the jitters in the beginning, but goes off for 16 points or whatever it is in like a 3-minute stretch. Yeah, he's special. He's a special kid. So all the best for him. But we're not in this playoff race right now. I mean, like we're in the 8th seed as of tonight. Who cares? Tomorrow, two days from now, we might not be. So it really doesn't matter. But ESPN really wanted us to believe that this game had all the implications on it. Well, guys, that's going to be it for this live stream. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure if you want to support the channel, go ahead and click down below. Hit that notification bell. Subscribe to this channel. Like this video. Share this video. If you want me to do more of these, leave comments down below. If you have any comments about the Spurs that you want you want to get at me, you can always find me on Twitter. You can always find me on Instagram as well. I'm all over Instagram and I'm all over Twitter. Okay, so go ahead and follow us there. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcast jam on. We're there too. Okay, so appreciate you guys, everyone in the chat. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for dropping your comments down here. I want to read more of your comments and stuff like that, but on these videos, time is limited. That's why we have our little link down here in the description where you can submit your questions that will be answered on the next episode, right? On the current episode, right? If I get those questions live, I can get those questions answered. But if I don't, then definitely on the next episode. So I appreciate you guys. Go Spurs, go. Great win tonight. We're on a little win streak. We'll take it. All right, go Spurs, go. Have a great night. Be safe. If you're out there in San Antonio, Say town, baby. 2-0, Countdown City. Adios. Go Spurs, go.